Welcome to episode 36 of Tools in the Hall. Let's get right to it with some brand new inventory items, stuff that you have not seen before. First up, we got Gojo scrubbing towels. They have excellent hand cleaner. You've seen probably the orange scented stuff that come in the hand dispensers, or rather the wall dispensers, also the pump containers. I keep the pump containers in inventory as well as just scrubbing towels. The towels are great just for your hands, but you can also wipe down your tools with them. They do an excellent job of knocking out any kind of oils or grease-based anythings. So they're terrific for wiping down your tools. And if you don't wipe down your tools, even if you don't use scrubbing towels, please wipe down your tools. Even if you just use a clean rag, it's worth it in just the pride you take in maintaining the things that earn you a living. And also the money that you spent on them. No matter where you buy them, they're expensive. So keep them up to a high standard, and make sure that when you put them away at the end of the day, they're nice and clean and ready to go. I've seen a lot of stuff break over time simply because it hasn't been cleaned. Air tools are one of them. Not just the external surfaces, of course, but internals as well. Ratchets are another thing. They get gummy and they get kind of gross inside. Take them apart and clean them. And also keep the exteriors clean too. Screwdriver handles and things like that tend to get very dirty very quickly. And if you're able to maintain the appearance, not only are they going to perform better for you, but also it means that you're proud of your tools and the money that you're spending and investing in your career. But also, if it ever comes time to trade them in, sell them, or upgrade them, they're going to be worth more when someone sees that you have taken care of them and you keep them clean. Getting in some new replacement Coast lights. You've seen plenty of videos of me bragging about the Coast brand lights. This is their XP11R flashlight. Dual power, focusing beam, lifetime warranty. I can swap out broken ones on the truck. We don't have to send them in for service. Terrific lights, less expensive than stream lights on average. And I really like how Coast stands behind their products. I sell tons of Coast stuff. When I put them on the truck side by side with Streamlight products, back before I decided to go entirely with Coast as far as inventory is concerned, people would ask me what the differences were. When I explained it, they'd always opt for the Coast light. So that's the one we keep in inventory. I can get plenty of Streamlight products if I need to order them, but for stuff that we keep on the shelves, it's Coast all the way. Oh, here's some new things from Mayhew. I've been waiting a long time for somebody to come up with these, and Mayhew was the first ones to do it. These are the Mayhew 2-piece mini pry bar set. There's a curved tip and a straight tip in there with a nice plastic handle. These are pretty beefy little guys here. That's quite a curve on that curved tip. You get a ton of leverage with that little guy, and they're fairly long, so you can leverage a lot of things with them. I like them for two reasons. One, they are made in the USA, where a lot of Mayhew stuff is made, and they have lifetime warranties. So a 2-pack of pry bars that'll last you a good long time, worth the 30 bucks. More promotion pads. I meant kneeling pads. What's the difference? There isn't one. These are from KTool. These are the 3-ply foam pad. And I'm going to piggyback on a video that was done on a channel run by some friends of mine called Text Talking Shop. I'm going to leave a link in the description. One of the most recent videos, a fellow named Anthony was talking about how he would go through his tool buying, knowing what he knows now as an established technician, if he were just starting out again. And he had some really good advice. I'll leave a link to that video. You can check that out. But one thing he went deep in on is personal protective equipment, or PPE, and how vitally important it is, especially when you're younger, so that you give your body the best chance of going through your career without all the aches and pains and ringing in the ears and funky vision and bad joints and everything else that so many of us experience out at an older age, you can do yourself a lot of favors if you do things like use a kneeling pad, use knee pads, goggles, face shield, hearing protection, gloves. All that stuff is really important. And you may not realize it when you're younger. You may not think that you need it or that it's not that important. And I know you're not going to believe me just because I say so, but if you ask anyone who is of a certain age and who has been around the block a little bit and has lived through the realities of the decisions they've made when they're in their teens and 20s, you'll find that they've all learned that protecting your senses and your body is well worth the investment in the PPE that you put forward early in your career. It's nothing to be trifled with. If someone looks down on you because you're wearing that respirator when you're grinding, or you put on safety, or maybe you always wear safety glasses. I know guys who wear glasses all the time. I don't know what they look like without their safety glasses on. There's guys who make fun of you, but screw them. No, it's your body. You need to take care of it. And don't let anyone tell you that it's unimportant or that, no, you're a pussy or whatever. You're not. You're doing the right thing for yourself early on in your life so that it doesn't adversely affect you later on. So many of us have tinnitus or hearing problems or constant ringing or joints that do not work anymore, knees that are terrible, sore backs. All this stuff is stuff that plagues people just by regular living your life, regardless of what you do for a career. But talk to a technician, especially the guys who work on heavier stuff, and they'll all give you stories about how their bodies are adversely affected. So PPE all the way. Protect yourself now, protect yourself tomorrow, and you will not know what it would have been like if you didn't, because you will have been doing it all along. And that's the most important thing. Yeah, you're going to hurt. We all do. But you're going to minimize the troubles that you put yourself through later on in life. And believe me, when you hit your 40s and 50s, you're going to be feeling it. And if you don't do it now, you will be regretting that you didn't. So there's my little soapbox lesson for you today. We got these socket adapters from Gray Pneumatic. That's the 1/4-inch hex drive on one end, and then this is square 3/8 drive on the other. I also carry the ones that have the 1/4-inch adapters. The reason why I go with Gray Pneumatic is because they have a lifetime warranty. And they're going to break, but they all do. But these are easy to swap out, and yeah, they're perfectly high quality. There is something in our latest flyer from Titan. It's a set of 3 adapters like this and then 3 wobbles. So you get 6 adapters, and it costs like $8.50, which is an extremely good price, I think. In fact, I was talking to my friend who has the Power Stroke Jude channel. I'll leave a link to him below. He called me today, and he asked if I could send him some of those. So I'm going to send him some of those adapters. And I told him, too, I said, you know, what you're giving up with the Titan brand that you don't get in the Gray Pneumatic is, you know, maybe service after the sale, maybe support warranty claims or whatever. And he said, you know, for $8.50, I don't care. So, you know, for him, it's worth it. And I'll be sending him out that 6-pack pretty soon. So thanks, Jude. Appreciate the order. And also check out his channel. I'll leave a link to Power Stroke Jude. And he puts out all kinds of fun stuff, a lot of shorts and a lot of longer form videos about just general interest in the tool industry. He does some really cool videos with his tool truck guys. His Cornwell Snap-on dealers are 2 great guys, and they let him on the truck with his camera, and he always talks them up and shows you what they've got on the trucks for sale. So it's a good time seeing his videos. You kind of get a chance to go along with him on the trucks. Oh, I have a proto wrench. A customer, a long time ago now, it's got to be, I want to say 5 or 6 months ago, a customer had a Blackhawk brand wrench, and he broke it, and he asked me if I could help him out with it. And I know Blackhawk is, I think they're somebody must know this better than I do. I think they're I don't know if they're related to Proto somehow, but I know that they're owned by Stanley Black & Decker. So we sent in the Blackhawk wrench to Stanley, and then Stanley sent back the proto wrench to replace it. So they can swap them out however they please. It's their company, they can do whatever they want. But I know Blackhawk used to be owned by somebody, that owned by Stanley, or they're underneath somebody else's umbrella. I don't know if they're under Proto, or they used to be a sister brand of Proto. I don't know. There's a long history there. The long and short of it is all owned by Stanley, and Stanley took care of the warranty for. So thank you, Stanley Black & Decker. Restocking on the 100-pack of razor blades. These are just the straight razors you use for a scraper. You know, 100-pack for $10. Oh, these are a new item. Somebody said to me, as he showed me one of these, he said, I got this off the Macco truck. Do you have these? And I'm like, I don't have these. I don't know that I've seen them before, but I was pretty interested in them when he showed me. They are a headlamp. I haven't tightened the strap. I just took it out of the package. LED strip in the front and a light on the side. And when you push the power button here, it cycles you through 4 different modes. Low and high. So you have one setting on the LED strip. Push it again, it goes to low. Push it again, the side light comes on high, and then goes to low. And then you press the wave motion button, and whatever mode you have this set for, watch this, off, on. Pretty slick, huh? It can be a bummer if you're wearing this and underneath a vehicle and you brush by an object that can turn this on and off, but very handy. Helps keep it cleaner if you're not touching it with dirty hands. But the one thing that really impressed me with this was just how high the quality of the light is that comes out of here. This LED strip is pretty amazing. When you, like I took the dogs out the other night, and I wanted to see just how good this was at night. So I'm standing out in my yard at night, and that strip gives off such an even light. It takes up your whole field of vision. So you don't have to move your head to keep anything. I mean, anywhere you move your eyes, the LED strip is lighting it up. And the little light on the side is super handy if you need a spot. But this is such a beautiful, wide, even light. Lights up everything. And it's terrific for up-close work because it's a more even diffused light. So, you know, knock it down to low. If you're doing up-close inspection work, you just need some general lighting. Or knock it up to high if you need a bit of a longer throw to it. Super comfortable. The whole thing's an elastic band. You can put it over a ball cap too, and you won't even know you're wearing it because the ball cap keeps it on there nice and it keeps it from squeezing your head. But this is so comfortable. You can wear this all day long and not worry about it. There's no pressure points on this like you get with some other headlamps, and it's a terrific value. These cost $25. You know, there's no warranty with them, but you know, for $25. You know, I sold out all the ones I had the other day because they were new items. So I kind of go in late on the new items just until I can gauge the popularity. And I sold to one guy. He was so happy. He loves lights, and I was joking with him. I said there's happy, right? I said, and then there's dog happy, and then there's you with the new headlamp happy. This dude was so happy. He's like, oh, great, I got this new headlamp. He goes, how many more are you going to get? I'm like, well, I'll keep them in stock all the time now. He says, great, get me another one. So he's going to buy a second one, and then, you know, while he was on the truck checking out the site, other guys were saying, oh, get me one too. So I got a whole bunch of these lined up already. It's great to have an item that doesn't cost a whole lot of money, that sells quick, and I love it because it shows some diversity in the inventory. And it's one of those things that just keeps people interested in coming on the truck, seeing what's new. They see something like this that they fall in love with right away. Instant sales. They're happy. I love it. This is a dial indicator from Fowler. Is Fowler the greatest brand ever? I don't know. I mean, when you want to talk about great brands of dial indicators, you're talking Starrett and Mitutoyo and Brown and Sharp. Fowler is a very good brand. I know machinists who use Fowler's stuff and they say they like them and they don't have any problems with them. So I feel confident, you know, because I have access to the line. And it's just a regular dial indicator. This is the one that comes with the gooseneck magnet base. And you turn the magnet on and off with that knob right there, put the dial indicator on the end here, and then you tighten it down and it makes the gooseneck rigid, and then you can take your measurements from there. Fowler's got good stuff. I've never had any bad experiences with them. And you're going to save a whole lot of money over the price on the Starrett or the Brown and Sharps or the Mitutoyo. Those are top dollar measuring tools that they have. They have mics and dial indicators, and they got a whole bunch of stuff. So, very good brands, outstanding brands. I don't have access to them because if I were to try, I called them inquiring about what it would be like to get access to the product line, but their buy-ins are very high for me, and I don't sell nearly enough of their products that it would justify me becoming a dealer for them. So I stick with Fowler because they're the ones that I get through my distributor. And no complaints with the quality. Very good. This is going to a customer who works on some pretty swanky high-end cars. And they do a lot of custom work. They have a need for precision that your average shop doesn't have. So he needed a good dial indicator, and he didn't want to spend an arm and a leg on it. So this is going to be just the right one for him. He was happy with the price when I showed it to him. This one's $112, and you compare that to the, you know, at least twice the price for some of the swankier ones. But it comes in a nice blow molded carry case. Keeps it well protected. Just some odds and ends of a Irwin tap, 3/16 hex bit socket from Gearwrench. If you don't own a mini ductor inductive heating tool, at least do yourself the favor of checking one out. I shot a video on one. Check it out up here a while back. They are pretty cool. It's an inductive heating tool that will heat up any ferrous metal part to cherry red in, I think, 12 seconds or so. So you can use it instead of a torch. So you don't have an open flame, so you minimize your explosion risk. And because the inductive heater uses these coils, then you can bend these and shape them however you want, so you can go around corners. Something you can't do with a flame. So a customer has an older unit and he has worn out his coils, and so I got him a new coil pack. It's got this long one here. It's got this smaller coiled up one here, and then a general purpose one there. They have different lengths, different styles, different size packs. That's the basic pack that I got them. And you know, they're not the cheapest things in the world, but it's worth it in the amount of time that it saves you from having to bust out the torch and get that going. You just pick this thing out of your toolbox, plug it in, hit the button, and within seconds you're heating stuff up to cherry red. So terrific tools. They've been they're expensive, but for the people who want to realize the kind of efficiency that it gives you, and honestly give you some bragging rights because they are pretty cool, that's the way to go. I had a customer ask me for some long ball end hex keys, and this is a set from Gearwrench. I carry Gearwrench, Echelon, Bondhouse, a bunch of different brands. When it comes to something like this, they're all equally good quality. They all have lifetime warranties. I just look to see who's cheaper and available. And in this case, Gearwrench came out on top for availability and cost. This is the metric set that goes 1.5 to 10 millimeters. This extends to 38 inches long, and it has a magnet that's rated for 18 pounds. From Easy Red, this is a really long pickup magnet. I just used it earlier today to pick up a nut that I dropped and rolled under my desk. So handy, and it's the great thing about this is, you know, as you extend it, I mean, look at that thing. I mean, you don't have to bend down. Talk about PPE, save your back. Or if you're, you know, up working on a truck or something like that, and you drop something on the floor, you can reach it with this. Very handy. It's a time saver. It's really a tool of efficiency and refinement, and it's I don't know. I was turned on to this by a customer who had an older one. I didn't even know they existed. He showed it to me. He said, "I broke it. Can you help me out with it?" And I looked it up, and sure enough, it's from Easy Red. I'm like, "Yeah, I got you covered." So I took care of it under warranty for them because they got a lifetime. And as a result, I've been keeping them on the truck now regularly because they're popular. People will mistake it for a hood prop if they don't know what it is, because it does look exactly like one. But no, it's a pickup magnet. Very clever. I rely on my customers a lot to tell me about things that are interesting to them, stuff that is popular. If they see buying trends from their coworkers on some of the other tool trucks, I love learning about what those are because I want to be more competitive, and they help me with that. And I had a customer who picked up the flyer and he looked at it, and they had these hammers in there, and he said, Matco just came around with these same exact hammers. And sure enough, they were in the Matco flyer, I think. Yeah, I think I saw it in their flyer. These are the ones that are branded for K-Tool, but these are just made by a manufacturer and then third-party branded or private labeled for other companies. In this case, the K-Tool ones that I get. In Matco's case, they put Matco's name on it. And they sell these rubber mallets. They're not, you know, the heaviest duty items in the world, but for what I think during the flyer for, you know, $30 or something like that, get yourself a pretty decent mallet. They got this one that's 16 ounces, and they have this one that's 20. Drill bits are funny in that they're not as easy to use as you might think. And if that sounds strange to you, you're probably one of those people who doesn't quite understand the science behind drilling a hole properly. Anyone can put a hole in anything, but to do it properly requires a lot of knowledge about what it is you're drilling into, the type of material, if it's metal, what kind of metal, depending on what kind, how hard is it, and you're going to need the proper bit for that job. And when you choose a bit, you're going to choose a bit based on what? Well, you have to know what the different bits materials are, and there's bits that are good for certain types of metals. There's the regular nitride coated bits. There's the regular there's cobalt bits, there's high-speed steel bits, there's all kinds of different bits. And you really do need to know exactly what it is you're drilling and need to know a little bit about your application to make sure you're buying or using the best bit for the job. And that sounds complicated. Well, it is. There's some complications to this that you need to know about. And once you've made the decision on which bit to use, oh, for crying out loud, you also need to know how to properly use it. Not everyone knows how to properly drill a hole. And I'll give you the long and short of it here. This is the 29-piece, smooth. This is the 29-piece index from KnKut. It's KnKut. Oh, look at this. See, that's how you That's their name right there. This is the 29-piece set that goes from 1/16 of an inch to a 1/2 inch in 16th inch increments, okay? What makes these so much better than other bits? These are particularly hard. They're treated with, what's it called? I forgot. Salt nitride, I think. Someone fact check me on this one. I think it's a salt nitride treatment that they give these where the nitride permeates the outer layer of the bit and it makes it harder and less susceptible to wear. Okay, so that's their claim to fame on these. Is it true? Yeah, in fact it is, because these things drill through lots of materials with ease. I've had people buy these and drill through steel truck frames, and they say, and I will quote them all, and they don't know each other, but they all tell me that they give me the same description. They say it cuts like butter. So that's some strong praise. If you look at the tips on these, see if we can get in focus here. Come on. These are what's called a split point bit. Very difficult to see on the video. But there's a chisel tip at the end here, and then the tip kind of angles off and then goes out, or the different angle toward the edge. That chisel tip is what actually cuts the hole. With these, KnKut specifically tells you not to drill a pilot hole. This tip is designed specifically not to walk. So you should be able to start a hole just by applying the bit of the size of the hole, of the size of your finished hole, right? And when you drill, drill slowly and use oil. Speed does not make your hole does not make you drill a hole any faster. Pressure more than speed is what will be your friend there. But use a cooling and lubricating agent like oil. Go slow. And remember, you're not punching a hole through something. What you're doing is you're using the tip on the drill bit to remove, to peel off layers as it turns. So RPM doesn't matter. That's what's going to burn up your bit, and you'll have a sad day burning up your bits because they're not going to work. And you're going to get a bad taste in your mouth thinking that the bit's no good. But the bit might be a very good bit. Maybe you're just not using the right technique to drill your hole. And Matco sells these same bits. They also have, you've seen the Matco, I forget what they call them, hyper step bits, I think they call them. They're really just a stepped point. I also sell the KnKut step point bits. I believe they're the same ones that Matco sells. If they're not the same, if KnKut doesn't make them for Matco, then they're identical bits anyway. These are the nice ones that come in the orange metal index, and this is I've seen the ones that are branded for Matco come in this same index. That's why I tend to think they are the KnKut ones. Best part about it, made right here in the good old US of A. So big fan of KnKut for keeping manufacturing in the States. I'm very glad that they do that. Now, are these drills cheap? These are very expensive. Are they worth it? They are, because they will give you very professional, high-quality results as long as you just take my advice and drill that way. And if you want some additional information, go to KnKut's website, and they have a little diagram about the tips on the bits and about why you don't want to start with a pilot hole, and they give you some techniques for how to properly use their bits. Check that out, because it is worth watching if you're going to buy their bits, because they're excellent quality. But even then, they're not as the ones I've got are not as expensive as what you'll see on other tool trucks. I think those are just over $300, $315 I think, or $310 for that 29-piece set I just showed you. And they have lots of other sets and lots of other configurations of bits. That's the most popular general purpose one. That's why I keep it on the truck. And yeah, I mean, guys will hem and haw before they buy them. I mean, they'll look at them going, man, I've heard good things about them, or they know someone else who owns them. But boy, they're expensive. And yeah, they are. But that's one of those things that you buy when you're at that place in your career to buy them. Don't go making this your first drill bit set. And once you've got a really good handle on how to properly drill a hole, how to effectively use a drill and drill bit combination for the material that you're drilling, and you've been doing this a while, then you can put yourself in that kind of tier of drill bits. They're great. Are they the greatest? I don't know. They're very good, and I think that when you compare them side by side other bits, you'll find that these perform at least as well as other top brands. I got to deliver this to a customer on Tuesday. This is the 4-piece Gearwrench plier set. It's got needle nose, lineman's pliers, side cutters. Well, they're not lineman's pliers. Needle nose, slip joint, side cutters, and tongue and groove pliers. These have their new molded handles, which are pretty comfortable. And here's the actual tools. And I'll do this, and maybe I'll use this as my thumbnail. That looks like a good shot. That looks like thumbnail quality right there. Maybe that. Sure, why not? The customer who bought these also bought a never been used 3-piece cordless snap-on power tool set from me. It was funny. I was at one shop, and well, the day before I was at this one shop, customer sends me a text message with some pictures asking me if I could sell some snap-on tools for him. And this is their 14-volt line where they have the 3/8 inch impact with the rocker trigger that everyone loves. And there was that, and I forget what was in the kit. That, a drill, a light, couple batteries, and a charger. He never used them. And he said that he bought them a year or so ago, and they've just sat in his box and was looking to turn into some cash. I said, sure. I said, you know, only half jokingly, I said, I'll bet they'll be sold by the time I hit the next shop down the street. And sure enough, I left his shop, drove down the street. A guy comes on the truck, he looks at him and goes, oh, hold on, I got to tell, you know, so-and-so about these. So he jumps off the truck. The other guy comes back on. He says, I'll take it. And I sold that pretty quick without any effort at all. Sometimes sales like that make you feel a little guilty because it's like instant sale and you don't have to try because customers either know they're looking for something and you finally have it, they'll jump on it, or they just know what they like. And in this instance, this guy really liked the snap-on tools, and I do believe it's one of the best power tool platforms anyone ever had, was that 14-volt 3/8 drill and the impact. So he couldn't wait to get it. And I was kind of happy because I like selling stuff right away. If I'm selling, if I'm selling something on consignment, which this was. So, he's kind of worried, like, I don't know how long I have to wait to get my money. I'm like, dude, this thing will sell really quick. Sold quicker than I thought. So he was happy. He got his money. The customer's happy because he bought some stuff that he's always wanted. And then he's also buying these pliers. So sales like that are great because they lubricate other sales. He buys the snap-on kit. I hand him a copy of the flyer. And I say, yeah, I'll take that. You got 3 months. You don't have to rush to it. He goes, okay, great. Well, the next week he's on, hey, man, I want these pliers. And, maybe it'll be something the week after. Maybe, it's a great way just to win over some customers. And you kind of let the sales work their own magic and the products sell themselves. And all I am is the conduit, between the customer and the tools. And I like it like that. That to me is a lot of fun because I can focus on other things like the relationship. And I don't have to try selling stuff, which I don't like to do anyway. But it's more important for me to establish a good relationship with this guy than it is to start pushing tools on him because he's not a tech in the shop. He works, I think he's a service writer. So he does, his own work and all. So he needs tools. So he's not normally somebody I would do business with on a regular basis. So it was nice to get a chance to meet him and to get a new customer on the books. Titan has, we talked about them earlier. They've got some excellent tools. There are welding helmets with some pretty cool flaming skull graphics. Are outstanding. they're outstanding. They've got a really good price point, you know, for a tool truck price anyway. That's $175, I think, or $173 or something like that. And they've got all the features of premium helmets. They got pretty comfortable headgear. They have a response time of 1/30,000th of a second. They have external knobs for adjusting the shade on it, and they have an internal screen where you can control it. They run solar and on battery backup. They have 4 sensors in them, so you have less chance of flashing yourself because you're in shadow. They're a fine helmet. They're the ones I've been selling now for years. And I've tried a bunch of different brands. This is the one I always come back to because the price and availability dictates that they're the ones I always keep on the truck. And that's a pretty cool graphic. Guys like that. They have lots of other graphics like American flag and eagle motifs, and they have an Iron Man design and some other graphics and stuff. I think that's a pretty good, you know, universal appeal graphic. So that's the one I keep on the truck. Oh, got a new battery came back from Milwaukee's warranty department. This is a universal thread gauge from Thexton. This has 4 wheels in it for you to look at the male and, well, these really to look at male threads. It's hard to, you can't measure female threads with this. You need something like, you need a thread gauge like this for the female threads. Right? Do you see that? Because that goes inside of something to measure its thread pitch. But these are cheap and they're easy to use. You can, you know, insert a bolt to get the diameter and then put the thread pitch gauge up against the threads to get the thread pitch number. So simple to use, fairly inexpensive. 4 discs are made out of aluminum. These are the channel lock wire strippers. This is just a regular plain old wire stripper. And they, inexpensive. All they do is strip wires. Oh, they have little serrated tips on there, like needle nose pliers for grabbing stuff. And they're made in the USA. Boom, right there. Lifetime warranty. Fairly cheap. It's my all-around pair of strippers that I keep because they're, what more could you want? Unless you want something that's really snazzy, like Milwaukee has these 6-in-1. They have a needle nose pliers and they have strippers. They have bolt cutters on them, a wire cutter. They have little wire bending holes. So you can use them for all kinds of things, especially if you work with a solid core wire. You know, but they're, you know, I think $20 more than this. So good all around set. This is the 3/8 drive standard universal sockets from Gearwrench. Their sizes run 3/8 to 3/4 inch. A lot of times it's on back order. Well, the customer asked me for this specifically, so he's going to get it Wednesday. Wire brushes are very important. And I could play the risky game of buying stainless or brass or something, but what I do instead is I get some of each. SG Tool is a brand I'm very fond of. They have this bucket of, I think, 36 different brushes, and they have 12 brass brushes, 12 stainless brushes, and 12 nylon brushes. Plastic handle with a hanging hole in the end of it. 36 of them in the bucket. Now, very handy. Good all around, you know, impulse buy to have on the truck. So, you know, it's one of those things where people walk on, they say, "Oh yeah, I need that." Grab some, and they're terrific to have just for that purpose. You know, those and sorry, I'm talking away from the microphone. Those and things like razor scrapers and batteries. Little items like that make a big difference on the truck. They're one reason why people get on my truck a lot more often than other trucks is because I've been told time and again, I've got those little things that other trucks don't have. And if you become known for that, well, that's one reason for people to get on every week because they want to check out what you got to see if maybe there's something that jogs their memory that, oh yeah, I needed those sanding discs, or I need, you know, this wire brush, or I need, you know, those little LR44 batteries for my calipers, or whatever it is. And it's good to be that guy that people think of in that way. I do a lot of business because I try to be attentive to the details and get those little impulse items on the truck so that it gives people, you know, a reason to come on board every week. Or if they just have, or if I just have that reputation, even if they don't get on the truck, they'll still ask me for stuff, which I really enjoy being the guy that's got to hunt something down, find something. Maybe I got to source a new product from somewhere. And I like being able to do that because it's how I am useful to you and my customers. So that's, to me, probably the most important part of the job is if there's something I can do that's useful, great. That's why I like being a resource, you know, for you on this channel. I really enjoy when people ask me questions about products, or, you know, they might have a problem they don't know how to resolve, and either I can give them an answer or I can refer them to someone. You know, I do the air tool repair videos, and I had a viewer post that he's having trouble with the same exact impact that I did a repair video on. He said he replaced stuff, but it still has a problem. And while I can't diagnose it myself, I was able to refer him to the company that we use when we send stuff out, a company called Power Tool Repair. And great people. They've never let us down. They've been very good with their diagnoses. They fix everything right the first time. So I said, you know, call these guys and check them out. I'm confident they'll be able to help you because it's what they do, and they're very good like that. So it's nice for me to be a resource like that for you and for my customers, and kind of just, you know, keep all the information flowing. And I love it when people post their comments with their experience and what they know. And you know, I don't have the kind of ego that gets bent out of shape if you tell me something that contradicts something I said. If you've got a valid opinion, or maybe I'm wrong and you have a fact that I don't have, share it. I love it like that because then we all learn, and I get better for that, and people who watch the channel and read the comments get better. So thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate you taking the time to go through these videos with me, especially the longer ones that you stick right to the end, and I appreciate that. But keep watching because we've got some cool stuff coming up, including some very exciting things I'm going to be doing with some vintage snap-on tools, and I know you're not going to want to miss that because you're probably never going to see a video like this anywhere else. So do me a favor and click down here now to subscribe so that you don't miss any of it. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, use a tool. Don't be one.